Hello, you're watching Robbie's Revelations. Or are you? Robbie's Revelation. Alright, so we all know that we're supposed to make disciples, right? But I thought that many of you really don't know what a disciple is, and I don't really blame you. I mean, sometimes it is a little confusing. But when it says go make a disciple, what actually is a disciple? Okay, so another question pops up. Disciple or believer? What's the difference? Simple. A believer is just somebody who believes in a certain faith. Like Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity. All you have to do is just be a believer. It's just to believe in a certain faith. However, a disciple is a student who wants to learn. And he has to want to learn. He doesn't actually need to be saved. Here, before we go on, I just want to take this one point. He doesn't need to be saved. John 9:28. Turn with me, if you will. John 9:28. John 9:28. Then they hurled insults at him and said, "You are this fellow's disciple. We are disciples of Moses." Now, you saving that doesn't really need to prove that you don't have to be saved. That was before Pentecost, so yeah. So it just proves that you don't have to necessarily be saved in order to be a disciple. However, now, if you're going to be a disciple of Christianity, it made sense to get saved. Back then, it really didn't, because you couldn't until Pentecost. Alright. Well, and Christ dying for us. But that's beside the point. So yeah, you don't necessarily need to be saved in order to be a disciple. Although now, you best get saved, because otherwise, if you don't, you're being pretty stupid. I mean, you're being stupid if you're a disciple of Christ. If you proclaim to be a disciple of Christ, a student of Christ, and you're not saved, you're being really stupid. Okay, you really are. You just don't know it yet. I hate to be that way, but you kind of are. But anyway. Another point, it requires commitment. You have to put forth some type of effort. You have to put forth your life. God requires you to put your life down. Anyone can be a believer, but only with those who are willing to truly learn and seek whatever their faith may be can be a disciple. Discipleship is a lifelong process. One good example of this is a verse that many of you know. You just don't know it. Matthew 16:24. And what I mean is, you know the verse, but you don't know where it's at. Anyway, Matthew 16:24. Then Jesus said to his fellow disciples, "If anyone will come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." So take up your cross and follow me. And goes on to continue to say, "For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for me will find it." Basically saying that if you want to become a disciple of Christ, you have to put and a commitment. You have to be fully committed to it. Many of you know the story of my testimony because you've watched it. And that my testimony shows that not only do I owe my spiritual life to Jesus Christ, but I literally owe my physical life as well, because I should not be alive right now. I shouldn't. I say that constantly. I just want to make a confession. I don't really read as much as I should, and that kind of, whenever I do these, I feel a lot of conviction for it, so it's a good thing to know that God still wants me to do it, and I'm still in good communication with Him, good. So I just want to get that out of the way. Anyway, so, yeah, if you want to be a disciple, you have to be ready to put down some commitment. Am I committed as I should for what He's done for me? No. I don't think anybody else. But I am trying. And what I'm trying to say is that if you want to be a good disciple of Christ, you don't need to just be a believer. When it talks about the Great Commission, go make disciples of all nations, it's not just telling you to go preach the gospel. Well, that is a good step. It's mainly talking about you need to go preach the gospel, but you also need to be ready to help them out if they need it. Because, normally, if you bring the gospel to somebody and they end up getting saved through the power of Christ, they're going to want to learn more about God, normally. However, if they get stumbled up and falling back further than the beginning, you need to go help them out. That's another point that I'm trying to address to you with this. Making a disciple is simply making sure that they have a good foundation to continue their life with Christ and to grow with Him, to set down that foundation so that they can grow with Him. One good way to do that is to not only tell them the gospel, because it gives them the communication, but also to give them the Bible and to teach them how to pray. Because believe it or not, if they're not saved, they most likely don't know how to pray. I'm not saying it's that way for everyone, but a lot of times, because obviously that's not the case, but a lot of times, yeah. So, if you want to make a disciple, you need to teach them that it requires commitment. You need to set down that foundation. And that's what he means by, the Great Commission. So remember, a disciple requires commitment. It requires commitment. Not just simply saying, Lord, please be my Lord. Jesus Christ, please be my Lord and Savior. And then done. It's not that. It requires commitment. So, you guys have probably heard this a million times. So, in the end times, many will never believe, not accept Christ, or just live if they're saved. John 6:66 is an example that proves this. From this time, many of his disciples turned back and no longer followed him. Let's see, this puts more context to. On hearing it, many of his disciples said, "This is hard teaching. Who can accept it?" Aware that his disciples were grumbling about this, Jesus said to them, "Does this offend you? What if you see the Son of Man to where he was before? The Spirit gives life, the flesh counts for nothing. The words I have spoken to you are the Spirit, and they are life. Yet there are some of you who don't believe." For Jesus had known from the beginning which of them did not believe, who would betray him. He went on to say, "This is why I told you that no one can come to me unless the Father has enabled him." And then, they left. So, yes, that pretty much proves that, it requires commitment. So to wrap this video up, you've heard many poems and such say this. There are two roads, right? There's not a middle road for half and half. You have to be all in or all out. The wide road is basically a concrete sidewalk, and you pretty much you can have a pretty good life, being really successful on that road and everything. But whether you like it or not, the end of that road leads to destruction, whether you're saved or not. Because if you're saved and you take that road and you don't help God spread His kingdom. Remember my video about 4 reasons to glorify God? And yeah, you're gonna be held accountable for it. You're gonna be held accountable for it. Which verse was it? You will be held accountable. Ezekiel 33:8, which says, no, I really wish I made the Bible backwards or forwards, but unfortunately I don't. 1073, at least in my book. Anyway, it says, when I say to the wicked, O wicked man, you will surely die, and you do not speak out to dissuade him from his ways, that wicked man will die for sin, and I will hold you accountable for his blood. Now, it's not coming out and blatantly saying it. I'm bluntly saying it, but basically, it is, but basically, if someone doesn't know the message of Jesus Christ, you will be held accountable for it, and most likely watch them go to hell. To show, hey, this is your fault. But if you take the hard path, yes, it's going to be hard. You're going to be persecuted. You're going to be beat and broken every step of the way. There will be very high points where you feel amazing, and then a few moments later be smacked off the mountain and hit every single rock and thorn. But for those who take that hard road, oh my gosh, they get such a reward for it. Trust me, you will be rewarded for that. For one, you won't have to deal with seeing as many people go to hell. So that in itself is reward enough. And two, God will bless you beyond your wildest your wildest dreams for following Him with your heart, with all your heart, all your life, everything. So to wrap this up, remember, there are two roads. You can either just believe and never do anything about it, never put any practice in it, or anything like that, or you can actually put some action to it, put in some commitment, and be a disciple, and get that well done, my faithful servant, you deserve. So if you like this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. I really need those likes to help me with the ranking and everything. So as always, I wish you a wonderful and fulfilling life. Thanks for watching.